everybody, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and today I'm doing a preview of 2 out of 3 games that should be up on crowdfunding now or soon. Sirens, which is a 1v1 game but has a solo mode I'll be showing, and then Defrag, which has a solo and cooperative play, and also I think a competitive mode. We're not going to worry about that. And as always, we get no compensation for our crowdfunding coverage. Just want to help you make an informed decision. And if you like the One Stop Co-op Shop, consider supporting us through Patreon. You get early access to our videos and exclusive videos every month you can't see anywhere else. I did a Sky Team solo play this month, and I think I'll have a 20 strong play later in the month. You can also watch our separate streaming channel for even more content, listen to our weekly podcast, or join the conversation on our Discord. So the basic idea of Sirens is that you are using these ship cards that have musical notes, and you're trying to chain together and join together a bunch of things for points. You're trying to get the most hearts possible. That'll earn you points. You're trying to have the arrows on the right of cards line up with the icons on the left for a flow. You're trying to get little icons that chain together like this to earn points equal to the Roman numeral, in this case 4. And then finally, you're trying to get big groups of cards, so like a bunch of reds counting the left icon in a row. All those things are going to score you points, but how it works in solo is they start with 1 extra card, so wah, they're going to have 1 more than you. You play until you have 6 cards and they have 7, and you do that by drawing 2 cards at a turn. You get 1, they get 1. For them, it's very simple. You check if it'll join up with anything on the left first. Like in this case, yes, this little thing here would join up. If not, I think it's placed on the right. And for you, you're building lines you can place on the left or the right, but you can't like put things in the middle of cards that have already been placed. And after you have 6 cards and they have 7, you score and see who has the most. And technically, you're playing best out of 3, but I'm just going to show 1 round to keep things moving since I have a whole other game to show, and I'll give some thoughts after that. And by the way, in solo, you have some different ways to modify the difficulty. At the base difficulty, Orpheus, who is the Greek mythological musician that's going to be opposing you, they get double the hearts, so you really want to be sure they don't get too many hearts or their score will just blossom too quickly. And then on the much harder, crazy one, I haven't really beaten them at this one yet, they get double hearts, and they also get 4 points for every singleton color group instead of usually 1, which is a crazy boost. But anyway, let's go to it. All right, so first cards, no hearts, and let's see if it's going to join up for them for anything. The blue would point in there, so that would get them flow. Nothing matches up, or I could have this one where those will join up for white, and it would be 2 blues in a row. And groups of the same color, again, blue, score by squaring the size of the color group. So 2 cards would be 4 points, whereas 1 card is 1 point. So that would be a double bonus for them, whereas here they'd get the flow where blue arrow gives into blue card, but nothing else would match up. So I think that's worse for them, and I'll go ahead and take this one here. Okay, now this one. We got 2 hearts here versus 1 heart here, but this is a wild, which you don't have to pick what color it is until the end, which is, of course, beautiful. And it also has this little moon symbol here, and the other wild has a sun, and if they end up in the same color group, then you get a 3-point bonus for having the sun and the moon form an eclipse, I think the game calls it. So yeah, I was thinking I would keep the wild for myself, but look at this. Red flows into red, that's good. 2 hearts versus 1, that's good. And it completes my 1-point charm here, which is not amazing, but it's something. So yeah, I'll give this to them, and since it's wild, it always matches up. Once again, the hearts are equal. I guess this doesn't matter because it's a wild, but that would certainly go in the red. Okay, I just checked the rules, and the wilds always match the color to the right. So this is going to be a green, which means that would flow into it. But of course, if I do this one, that'll flow into it as well. So either way, they're going to get a flow. So I guess I should care more about myself. That doesn't really do anything for me. That doesn't do anything. I guess this is the best, because then I've got at least a group of 2 reds. So yeah, we'll do that. And then if this is a green, then it's flowing into green. There we go. And here I'm sliding things a bit so it can all fit on screen. All right, what do I need now? Okay, so that would flow in. And it's 2, they're both 2 hearts again. Darn it, I'm not really getting any chance to cut hearts out from them. That would do nothing for them. That would be another blue. I don't love that. That would do nothing for them, and that would also do nothing for them. Okay, so it seems like I want to give him this card, but how weak is this card? Oh, that's another blue. Now, one wrinkle, Orpheus always scores their full part points, which are like when you have greens in a row or blues in a row or whatever. But I only score my groups if I have at least 3 parts. So if I like just did blues and red for the next 2 rounds, I wouldn't score these like with their squared value, which shouldn't be a problem. I think it'll be okay, but let's see. Oh, I got the other one of these. Now it's already broken up, so they wouldn't get the 3-point bonus, but that has a heart and this doesn't. That would be a flow bonus and nothing else. That's not too bad. Yeah, so I think I'm going to take the wild. Now, it doesn't matter too much. And I can see later if flowing is going to be worth more points or if like a bigger group is going to be worth more points. We'll see how that comes with the last card. And here it is. Okay, so that would be a red flow for them or a blue flow for them. So that card's going to work no matter what. Whereas this would be a red group for them. And I can look in a second which of those is going to be better. Whereas for me, that would be, okay, so I could have a 3-size blue group and a 2-size red group and then make this into a yellow to get the flow and to get the third group or part I need to score everything. You know, I think that's my best choice, honestly. So let's go ahead and do that. And then that gives them a 2 red group, but I think that's kind of okay. All right, so I sort of simplified things a little bit because we didn't have any of the icons that matched up anyway, the charms. So let's do the scoring. First, we look at hearts. Orpheus, remember, multiplies their hearts even on the, or doubles, I should say, not just multiplies their hearts even on the easiest difficulty. So they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, I didn't miss any. Times 2 is 10. And I've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's the difference. So they get 4 points. That's 4 for them. Okay, the next is parts. So 2 cards is 4, 5 for a single card, or sorry, 1 for a single card adding up to 5. 4 more for the group of greens, so that's 9. Single blue, single green, that's 10, 11. Brings them to 15 overall. Well, for me, group of 3 times 3 is 9, plus group of 2 is 13, plus group of 1 is 14. So 1 point behind them, I like that. All right, but now flow, and this is an exponential sum, so the first one's worth 1, the next one's worth 2, the next one's worth 3. So this is 1. And then this does count as green, so that's 2, 3, plus 2. And then into blue, so that's plus 3, so that's 6. But then nothing there. So that brings them to 21. And here, I can leave this here now because I think it's the last one. I'm definitely going to lose this. Red into red is plus 1. And then I'm saying that's yellow, so yellow into yellow is 2 more, so that's 3 total. So I'm at 17. They're at 21. Oh, and I did have the 1 charm. I think that's the only charm that anybody got. So 18 versus 21. So Orpheus on the easier difficulty would have won this round, which I'll tell you is how my games of Sirens usually go. This one is ridiculously tough. And technically how it works is you play best out of 3. So Orpheus or whoever won would get one of the cards from the deck with just its back showing, which gives them an extra heart. So there's a little bit of a rich get richer thing. But just to mention, one of the coolest things about the game, I'd said this in my Gen Con review, I don't have the app right now, so I can't actually show it in action, is that once you finish playing, you can arrange your 6 cards in kind of a 3x3 set of 2 rows like this and scan it with an app, and it'll play the actual song you've created, I'm sure, with me just randomly placing them, some kind of a haunting siren song, and you can kind of enjoy that. So fun little element for the theme there. But yeah, quick thoughts on this one. I like that it's very simple, quick choices, just kind of comparing which one do you think is going to get you the most points, but you might also want to kind of think ahead to what you're setting yourself up for. On the other hand, I do think it's very simple choices. There's more going on in competitive, so I do think the solo is a little bit dumbed down. And this is just my personal preferences. I like to have a decent chance of winning in solo, and I have found on the basic difficulty, I only win maybe like a third of my games. And on the advanced difficulty, I haven't won a single time. So if you're a solo player who wants to get brutalized by the AI, this might be an awesome game for you. If you're like me, where you want a slightly easier experience, you might be sticking to the easy mode a lot. But yeah, that's Sirens. Again, this is competitive and solo. And I think the solo mode is fine. I wouldn't necessarily recommend the game for it, but I think it's a nice add-on. But let's get to a game that's made mainly for solo and co-op and show you how that one works, getting to Defrag. All right, so yeah, here's Defrag, and this one, again, is focused on solo play, but they do have a cooperative mode where you're basically just kind of playing your own game at the same time, like with a separate set of cards, but you have to kind of coordinate how you're scoring and stuff, and then you balance out your scores at the end. And there's also a scenario booklet that gets more and more complex and has cooperative and solo like kind of challenges. It can change up the rules and your targets. I'm just going to show you the basic play, though. So you start out with a little 8-card grid like this, and then you've got 2 cards in your hand at a time, and you can flip them, and you're going to play them into an empty spot in the grid. And when you play them, you're going to resolve the action on the left, or you can discard the card to your recycling area to resolve a recycling action. And again, you can flip the cards. And most of the actions are just moving other cards, not this card itself, but other cards. So like here, if I played this here, you can affect any card in the same column or row where you played the card. And here it's letting me move that card one space to the left or the right. So I could like move that like that, or I could move that like that. And then the big thing you're trying to do is for each of the 4 icon types, this like little notebook one, this little paint thing, this little graphing thing, and this little computer thing, each of those you're trying to score once. And what that means is as you're playing cards, you're trying to stack them on top of each other. Like this gave a left-right move. I could move this, and because you're looking at just the icon in the like vertical position, just the one at the top of the card, because these match, I can form a stack. And after you run out of cards in the entire deck, playing one card at a time, drawing back up to a 2-card hand, you're trying to get for one of those icon types as many things in one stack as possible with no other ones anywhere else in the system. And then you score points based on how full of those icons that stack was. You take all the cards in the stack, remove one, and you go through it again until you've scored all 4. So I'll play through to just score one of these to kind of show you how that works. All right, so I've got a little stack here. That wasn't necessarily the best move, but I was just kind of showing you how things work. And now I want to try to get some other ones. And you'll notice that, some cards have great icons for the stack I'm building, but they aren't facing the right side yet. So there is a way to rotate them. And here's a good example of that. So anytime you play the card down before you resolve the action of the card, you can check if any of the cards that have icons touching to the card you displayed, so in this case, folder on folder, computer on computer, you can rotate those cards in whatever way you like. So like in this case, get those 3 face up. In this case, get those 2 face right side up. So now if I can get those together, it's going to vastly increase my score for this stack. But that would also make things more challenging for myself because remember, you can't have any cards not in your main stack that have the same icon. But anyway, but then this card I played has one of the special icons, Network. I can take any card or stack from anywhere and move it to somewhere else in the row or column where this was played. In this case, I'm going to take the 3 and throw it right into my big stack here. So the only card I've maybe I shouldn't have rotated that one. That's definitely going to make life a little tough. All right, well, let's try this one next. The books are wild, so they'll work for any type and any stack. And this lets me move something in my row or column in one of the orthogonal directions. I'm going to go ahead and stack on top of the book itself. And yeah, now I just need to get that over to there or something. I got another network, and the tree is awesome. If you can get the tree into your stack, then right before you score the stack, you can pull something that's orthogonally adjacent to it. So it kind of lets you have like one thing next to your stack and grab it at the last second. Oh, and actually, I'm wrong. It's the same row or column, so it's even better. So it literally lets you grab things. But also the network is awesome here. So sure, let's do that. And then I can grab anything and put it in the same row or column as this. So there we go. Now we're locked up again. Nothing's going to currently mess up this. And if we can get the tree in there, then we could grab something else from kind of far away. Ooh, like this one has a 3 if I can rotate it. So let's try this. I'm going to put it here. Use the left-right movement to get the tree onto this stack. And now, at the end of this round, I could grab something from the row or column and like put this on there. But if I can find a way to like maybe get a little graphing thing next to this one and rotate it, I can make it worth 3 instead of 1. Oh, and here we go. Yep, so that matches up graph to graph. And then here's a rule I'm not entirely sure about. This lets me move something else up or down, but there is nothing else, so I think I just don't take an action. But maybe in the rules, I'm actually not allowed to place that card there. Some parts are not 100% clear to me yet. But this 3 I can just grab with the tree, so there's no danger in playing it there. Okay, now I drew another 2, and once again, it's giving me movement that I can't actually use in this column. Maybe I'm cheating with that. By the way, I've got 2 cards in my hand and 1 card in the deck left, and when I've played all of them, I'll score. Ooh, that one's good. It's a down arrow. That's not going to help me at all. All right, now this one, you want to sometimes be setting up for like your next round, so it's kind of off camera, but I'm going to put this computer top one over here next to this other computer, and then it's got a left-right move, so I can get those back on the stack since it's in the same row or column. Okay, and last 2 cards, is there any way for me to make that happen? Oh, yeah, okay, if I do both of these. So if I do that, again, I'm not sure if I can do a null action, but I'm gonna. And then this one lets me go left, right. Which means it would have to be in this column. Man, that's useless otherwise. Well, I mean, at least these folders aren't too far away, so I can put it here, say that's going like that. Yeah, just look at the rules again. It says you may use the action, so I don't think I'm cheating or anything here. All right, so the deck has run out. Because I have the tree in here, the file tree, I can grab something from the same column or row. Hello. And now I'm going to pick to score those because I have no other active file types, just looking at the top, that is of that type. So I go 3, 6, 8. I'm just counting the number of icons. The tree doesn't count by itself, by the way. 10, 13, 15, 17, 18 for the wild. I would mark that down for that one type, and then I would randomly trash one card, and the rest of these would become my new draw deck, and I'd start with a hand of 2 and go through again, doing the next file type, and then the next, and then the next, until I've gotten my total, and I compare it to like a little beat your own score table and see how I did. Although, again, that's just the basic game. You can go into like some really interesting challenges and things with the scenario booklet. So that's Defrag. It gives me some vibes of things like Rove, where you're trying to use like limited actions to attain different combinations and patterns and things. It's pretty fun. Definitely more solo focused and co-op focused than Sirens. So if you're looking for out of those two like a game that's better for the solo player, I definitely think this is the one to go for. That being said, I do think the basic game gets a little bit repetitive after a while. Like I played it 3 or 4 times and started feeling like I was kind of using similar strategies. It doesn't change the fact that it's tactically engaging constantly, like the choices you make on your turn are never boring. But I do think people are going to have to go into the scenario booklet fairly quickly if they don't want kind of the game to maybe lose its luster. All right, so there you go. Quick double preview, Defrag and Sirens. They also have one in there called 16 Candies, but that has no solo co-op, so we're not going to touch it. But go check out the crowdfunding page and see what you think. Thanks for watching, everybody. Good gaming, and I'll see you at the next stop.